I went online and tried to find these photos, and to my surprise, the stories are true. And I think it's also true that men today think about these things, right? Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Shisha Zed. I am back in here with another video for you. You know how it goes, man. No more wasting time. Let's get it. Fellas, when's the last time you approached a woman? I'm curious. The last time you went out of your way to approach a woman in public. I'm not talking about the girl you said hi to. I'm talking about, see her, she's got a fat ass. Let me chill out. She looks good, right? And you go to her and get her number, right? You go up for the purpose of getting her number, maybe things going forward, relationship, dating, sex, whatever. I'm actually curious to actually hear these answers. So let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you do it now and don't forget, because I am curious to know this answer. Today's video comes from a channel called I'm Not Racist Clips, and this specific video is titled Men Don't Approach Beautiful Women Anymore. As always, normal delay. Let's get into it.
Do you feel like maybe it's where you're finding men, maybe? Like, the type of men, you think?
Yeah, maybe you need to go to the library.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, or the grocery store, shit.
No, I know.
Maybe be on a podcast.
Well, the thing is, also, men don't approach you in LA.
100% no. Absolutely not. Especially when you're pretty, too. They're like, no.
Yeah, and being plus size is like a whole nother
yes.
thing.
Oh, my God, girl.
So
I know
that's
it.
why I feel like I only meet men like on jobs or online.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would go out with my friends quite often, and the entire time I've lived in LA, I've had definitely less than 10 men approach me. Definitely less than 10.
Wow.
How long have you lived in LA?
8 years.
Wow. I was thinking you're like a couple years.
No, like come up to me on the street in person. Like guys
yeah, but
I
I see why that doesn't happen in LA though.
Why is that?
Because like LA is one of those places too where one, there's a lot of people that are insecure. One, two, like rejection is definitely feared out here in LA, because like there's been times where like a girl fell and I helped her up and she's like, ugh, and I was just like, wow. Like, so I think like even by you being
oh my God.
Like, yeah, I was like,
okay.
Like the communication, like even going into the elevator the other day, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And this girl's like, and I'm just thinking like, I'm just a friendly person. You know, my mom taught me to speak to people, like all my friends from Alabama. But that like, I noticed that like, and it might not be like the prettier shit, like anything like that, but I do notice like a level of like, don't talk to me, you know, like there's like a stench in the air that's out here.
And I'm going to tell you why
that's like that. And so I can see someone not approaching you because they're like, wow, she's a beautiful woman and I don't want to say something. And then she's just like you don't want your day to be fucked up because you said hello to somebody. You know?
I think that's a chance you got to take if you think somebody fired.
But what I'm saying is like, after you take 2 chances and you find out that fire is fire, you know what I'm saying? You like, all right, you know what? How many times you gonna touch the stove?
All right, so let's start out with the idea that men in LA don't approach beautiful women. Now, I live in LA, right? And it's not just Los Angeles. I think most men in this country don't approach women like they used to. And I think it has a lot more to do than just insecurity. What women don't realize about this specific issue, which I've talked about countless times on videos before, is they've really created the very problem they complain about when it comes to this issue. Since the popularization of the Me Too movement and cancel culture, most men as a whole have decided that the cost that comes with approaching a woman today in our time, getting mixed up for being creepy, right? All these accusations that are happening, still happen, aren't worth the reward. It's not worth it anymore for most men. Now, for me personally, I still approach women. Number one, because I'm RP aware. I understand how it works. Number two, I have game. Now, a lot of you guys out there think women are just supposed to be attracted to you and your masculinity. All I gotta do is be tough and masculine, and that's how it works. Nah, man, there's a way to move in this time and era. Most men aren't willing to go learn game and understand how to attract women, right? And so they just opt out, stick to dating apps, subscribe to OnlyFans. That's just what's happening in our culture. More men are approaching less women. More men are in less relationships. Majority of men are sticking to porn, jacking off, and OnlyFans. That's just the sad truth. Now, if you understand game and you still say, hey, you know what? I don't want to approach women. I'd rather stick online. I get it. You know, whatever. Do whatever you want. But it goes a lot further than men just being insecure, right? Because you're beautiful. That's ridiculous. So I think it's safe to say that most men in the RP community who are seasoned, right, with RP knowledge and have game still approach women. But the problem is we are not the majority, right? We are the minority. Most men aren't willing to do the work, number one, and overall, they just don't see it as worth it. We, however, are the small minority. We understand female nature and male masculinity. We understand not to cold approach, but to wait for choosing signals. We also understand that women live for validation, right? The less validation you show them, the less you compliment her and act like a pandering simp, the more they'll want you and pursue you. But most men don't know this stuff. Most men today think that women are too complicated to understand, and approaching them just isn't worth the risk. I also want to call some serious cap on the lady's part. She said in 8 years, she's only been approached 10 times. I call cap on that. That's not true. And this is the problem with most of these podcasts with male and female hosts. If it's not a platform with men who aren't afraid to speak their mind, women will get away with saying shit like that. And here's why I don't believe her. She means to tell me in the last 8 years of her walking the streets of LA, only 10 guys have approached her, right? 8 years. I mean, I know guys aren't approaching like they used to, but that can't be true, right? You're going out to clubs, you're partying in the summers, having that hot girl summer, right? And men see that fat ass and none of them are saying nothing? None of them are approaching you? Come on, man. Let's keep it real. Because we all know niggas out here who are thirsty as hell, right? They will approach anything. And you want to convince me that in 8 years, only 10 of those guys approached you. Guys, we've all been to the club. We know how thirsty men get. I was once that. I was once the thirsty guy. You know, me and my boy would play a game where we would say, hey, you point her out, I'm going to go up and talk to her, right? And we did that stuff, right? That's common. So you're not going to sit there and lie to me on camera when we know what's up. That's cap. Anyways, let's get back into this video.
Well, I think that's a chance you got to take if you think somebody fired.
But what I'm saying is, like, after you take 2 chances and you find out that fire is fire, you know what I'm saying? You like, all right, you know what? How many times you gonna touch the stove? You know?
Okay, I understand.
It's like,
well, but this is something that we wanted to touch on. Is like there's this cultural society thing going on, especially if you're in the industry, you're a public figure as a man. You know, you've seen the famous Keanu Reeves picture where he's taking fans with photos, and have you seen this? This
he
like
does not touch any.
He will not touch
won't touch a
anybody.
girl. He takes a picture. He puts his hand behind their back like this, like he puts it
Like
straight out.
this.
He will not
His
hug
hand,
them.
you'll see his full palm.
Every single time you see him take a picture. Google it when you get home, but it's so funny.
It'll blow your mind.
It
but
will.
This is a real thing in the industry because there's, you know, and in workplaces, not even just, you know, entertainment industry, but if you're a man and you're alone with the woman, like you don't want that situation to come up. Like, if you have stuff, if you have a career, if you have money, if you have whatever, you're in your mind, you're like, okay, one weird situation in an elevator,
it blows up.
It could all be gone. Yeah.
Now, this was real interesting because I actually didn't know about these Keanu Reeves photos before this, and I actually did some research. And again, what the gentleman was saying there, who seems to understand the issue at a deeper level, is Keanu Reeves has all these photos with fans, and in all the pictures, he's trying his best not to touch any of the women. Now, I went online and tried to find these photos, and to my surprise, the stories are true. And I think it's also true that men today think about these things, right? Most men. But the more you have to lose as a man, the bigger of an issue it is. Keanu Reeves is actually showing some form of RP awareness in these photos. I mean, could it be that Keanu Reeves is RP aware in real life, right? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow stumbled on like a bunch of this content that's ironically inspired from his movies. We use that example all the time. The RP is a pill that represents truth. When you take it, you accept the truths of reality, of life, of female nature. Here's what I think, man. I think most famous people have an opportunity to see female nature up close and personal in a way that we don't. Think of a rapper. the difference that he sees women respond to him as he goes from that rags to riches transition, right? Think of actors. They're millionaires. They're rich. They're famous, right? Status is kind of like that number one top thing right now in our culture. That's why platforms like Fresh and Fit tell you, hey, you need a good Instagram if you're going to be out here dating. Why? Because it matters. Whether you want to opt out and say a woman should just love me because of me, it matters. You learn to play the game. You either win or you whine and cry like a beta male simp. Chances are you're competing with technology. Your digital footprint, who you represent yourself to be now matters. So if you're lost, I'll explain it. Keanu Reeves is basically avoiding touching these women because he doesn't want to get me too'd. Let's watch the rest of this video.
Is it worth the risk? You know, that person has to be really worth the risk. So I'm just curious to pose the question, I guess, back to you guys is, do you think things will change where girls are going to feel like, I don't get approached anymore, and they're going to start approaching guys and that's going to be the norm? Or do you think things will just soften up a little bit and it'll be more acceptable to be, hey, how you doing? Oh, I see you fall. Let me help you out.
It's only going to get worse.
You think so? I think so
it'll
too.
just resort to online.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just your online. It's
I
only-
agree.
And like the good thing about too online is you can see someone's lifestyle through like their Instagram. Like you can look at someone's Instagram and somewhat see like their friends or who they interact, unless they're like, you know, tricky and shit. But I'm saying like you can look at somebody and say, oh, okay, like this person seems fun. Like they, you know, it's almost like in some ways it's almost like a resume that you can see at times.
At you.
This girl seems fun.
Are you like, oh, okay, this person seems, you know, she has
Yeah.
a good relationship with her, this and this, you know,
Yeah.
just
I think
friends.
Instagram is good. It's like a quick snapshot
Yes.
into who that person is, but not on their page. You gotta look at the tag photos for the real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what they put. You know,
100%.
I mean, you know, people be
100%.
faking for Instagram. It's wild how far like the links people will go to.
Oh, I know.
To make it look like
They live in a lifestyle.
Exactly. Literally. You'd be surprised. I've seen niggas who are homeless in
No
real
way.
life, but like you next to a Bentley right now, like it's that extreme.
See, that ain't right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like the opposite. Like I want to be low key.
I'm
I don't want
the same
anybody
way.
like coming
love
up
that shit.
to me like, oh, you did this, you did that. Like, I don't,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
like humble.
Yeah, but I think there is a psychological thing too, where if you're a very attractive woman or you're a model, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a model, you're kind of like top tier, like as
Yeah,
far
I think
as
so.
at least your face symmetry and
Yeah.
all that,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of guys will be like, oh, they're really pretty, they're beautiful. I'm sure guys approach them all the time. And then there's this drop off where they actually get approached less.
Yeah.
There's actually real statistics that like the really
Unless it's
top
like-
beautiful girls, they get approached less.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The people that I get approached by the most are like old Hispanic men.
Girl, same.
They shoot.
So overall, I agree with the conclusion that the issue of men not approaching women will only get worse. Now, there's two things why that would happen. Number one, I think men waiting for women to finally say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. We're going to start approaching men. That's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. They're not going to take that type of accountability or even just muscle up the courage, right, to go ahead and start approaching men. The truth is, a lot of women are more insecure, way more insecure than any man could be. It's just the truth. They fear rejection a lot more, right? They're not going to muscle up the courage to start approaching men. Things like dating apps will become more popular, and things like OnlyFans will get replaced if they move away from that adult content by some other platform where men replace that normal human interaction with paid interaction where they're using their money, right? That transactional beta male intimacy that, quite frankly, is not for me. I don't think should be for anybody on this channel, but hey, do you. The second part of that is men just don't improve. You don't want to improve your life, improve your body. You don't want to embrace the alpha mentality. You don't want to become the best version of yourself. If you are complaining, if you don't want to go, improve your Instagram, improve your body, learn game, learn when not to approach a woman. Learn what to do on a date to raise her attraction, to raise her interest, right? Go listen to people like AMS. Steph is cold. Shout out to AMS. Man, he gave me a follow on Instagram. I appreciate that. Your boy is coming up. But if you don't want to learn this stuff, man, you're going to struggle. You're going to be waiting for a time when all this stuff is going to be reset. It's never going to happen. It's just going to get worse. The men getting pussy are just going to get more pussy. Those are the facts. It's just going to get worse unless if you are willing to do the work, right? Listen, let me tell you guys something. There's a reason why I'm glad that I started learning my game from someone like AMS, right? Originally, when I came into the RP, I'm glad that I started learning it from AMS. Why? Because the way AMS teaches you, if you watch his videos, to position yourself in a woman's life. Now, of course, I'm not talking about AMS's own personal life, because we all know he's, doing the rotation thing. He's not focused on like getting married. Even if you do want to get married, I know you may go over there and think this is not for me. You can learn a lot from a lot of these like RP content creators that teach game, right? The way you position yourself, the way you're taught to position yourself is in a way that a woman will pursue you. She'll pursue you. Why? Because you are making her work for the validation and the attention and a relationship, if that's what you want, right? You're putting the ball in her court. She's chasing after you, but it takes time and it takes game. And you got to know how to do that. And you can't be complaining. You can't be just blaming women. You got to embrace the alpha mentality, because when you're an alpha of your own life, leader of your life, don't talk to me about whatever other type of shit you guys come on here talk. Sigma, I understand, man. But when I talk about alpha mentality, I'm talking about a man who's intentional and purposeful about his life. He's leading his life. His decisions aren't based on what a woman does, this and that. He doesn't blame women. If a woman acts up, you get rid of her, right? Simple as that. I don't have women problems. If there's a problem, it's fixed. Fast, not slow. You shouldn't have women problems either. If you have a woman that's giving you hell, she shouldn't be giving you hell in the first place, because she shouldn't be in your life if she's giving you hell. So you got to embrace the alpha mentality, and you have to improve your life. So why don't men today approach women? Well, because we live in a society that punishes men for embracing and acting on their instinct, their natural man instinct to approach beautiful women. Now, to men like myself, that's not an excuse. To most men, it's just enough for them to not want to do it. So what if you want to approach women, right? What if today you want to approach women and you don't want to be those majority of men who are just going to opt out? Well, you're going to want to learn game, specifically RP game. And you're going to want to approach women who are showing you high interest and are giving you choosing signals. Because here's the reality. When you know what you're doing and you're not just out here being thirsty, women tend to reciprocate. But the catch is you've got to always keep her chasing you and your validation. This is for your protection and for the well-being of the relationship. Meaning you want to play hard to get as a man too. Women love that. Don't listen to what women tell you. Look at what they respond to. They love that. They love chasing a man who's playing the high value role, right? They love that. They can't resist it. And the other thing it does is it puts the ball in her court. So there's no confusion here about who is chasing who. You pursue with game, which raises her interests, and she chases your attention and validation and wants you more than you want her. So there's this theory called the rich get richer. I believe it's the same when it comes to women, right? The crybabies you see in the comment section down below who are crying and whining and bitching about women, they think it's all their problem. They don't want to do the self-improvement. All I need is masculinity, bro. I don't need game. Those men will continue to lose. The men who embrace the alpha mentality and live a life of self-improvement and purpose, those men are winning and will continue to win. Listen, guys, I'm becoming more intentional about weeding out the sheep in wolf's clothing on this channel. Many men, because of the lack of knowledge and game, right, feel hopeless when it comes to women. But when a man realizes that self-improvement and learning game will set him free from all that confusion, then the whole game changes, man. The whole game changes. Again, when I talk about approaching women, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about cold approaching. We don't do that. We don't cold approach women who don't show us choosing signals. No. And if she doesn't send signals but still wanted you to approach, then it's her loss, right? But gone are the days when men are cold approaching for nothing. If she feels she's too good to show you signals or she's feeling you, then she can kick rocks, man. Embrace the alpha mentality and remember that you as the man have to become the prize through self-improvement, sacrifice, and hard work. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, do me an amazing thing and like it down below. Really helps my channel. If you have any questions, let me know, man. Leave a comment down below. You guys know I get down in there and have conversations with you. Also, check out my Patreon. I'm uploading in there more frequently. I'm also including all the equipment I use for recording. I know a lot of you guys ask about like podcast stuff in the comment section. It's all in the description. I include all the cameras and all the microphones I use. It's all available in the description down below. Until next time, guys, I'm out. Peace.